About to get into game number 1 here, and I'm going to let you guys take it away. But first, we're going to hear from one of our players, Shredded from the United States. We asked a lot of our players their mentality and the correct approach when beginning this tournament. So let's hear from Shredded, guys, and we'll let you take it away after.
I approached the first part of the game very aggressively. I tried to choose the units which maximize my chance of being able to win the initial PvP round, which is round 4, and being able to generate a win streak off of that. And that's allowed me to have quite a bit of success in the game, and that's a playstyle I will stick to.
All right, game 1 here, ladies and gentlemen, in Shanghai. Group A, the very beginning of this event. Cameron Davis, joined, of course, by Clay Tano. And we've already seen first couple of rounds. We're on the second right now. And, I mean, first thing that stands out to me is that's a lot of goblins picked up.
Yeah, I mean, goblins are going to be your strongest choice early on. They're 1 cost. They're easy to get up to 2-star. And then they're also very easy to scale into something else along with mages, assassins, or just pair with like a God of War or something like that as well. But just taking a look at Shredded here, this is not the first time that I've actually casted Shredded. I did cast him in another game, and it's going to be interesting to see how he's adapted to this new style of genre of auto battlers. And looks like he's going with that warrior start. He does have a pair of swordsmen already, which we said that we might actually see some beast warrior coming.
Yeah, this isn't a bad start. There's no synergy active just yet because the 2 swordsmen, of course, don't count as more than 1 unit as far as synergy is concerned. But nonetheless, this is still a really strong start. I don't know how much you can really commit to warriors unless it's like you're rolling a lot of high-rolling warriors. The thing about you mentioned about goblins that you're able to transition out is because most of the goblins are 1-star, and even once you get that to level 2, when you sell it, you get all your gold back to 3 gold. 2 stars, though, can't stay the same.
Yeah, you get a little bit of a diminishing return on that one, but items are going to be super important here, and we can see that there's quite a bit of items to go around, except for the low roll of Hosanna specifically. Just 1 cattle hide armor there, kind of taking the short end of the stick. But Shake even having a full frantic mask for himself, so that's something to look into going into Knights with as well for that Lightblade Knight. Yeah,
Shake actually going for the nice Goblin mech synergy right now, which is of course a strong in the very beginning, but may not be as strong as the player he's facing up against right now, taking a lot of damage. But okay, so the passive regeneration from the mechs is going to be enough.
Yeah, he should be able to take that every time against Shredded. He still doesn't have any sort of synergy. Didn't get his 2-star swordman on that round as well, but Shake does have the double God of Wars on the bench. If he gets that early on, that would be a extremely good pickup for him and help him keep that win streak. Right now we have, looks like 5 players that are all still 100% after round 4, which is a little bit above average.
A little bit, yeah, just as far as the coin flip goes. But you don't really look at the first 1 or even 2 PvP rounds as a, I guess, qualifier or a designator of what the game is going to look like, because you really don't know. You're only given so many rounds, so much gold to really try and develop your board and your sideboard. But this is the Hunters in the very beginning. 3 full Hunters, Hunter Feather. This is not a sort of lineup that we're expecting to see a lot of. It is only the early game, so it's still enough time to transition out of it.
I think Hunters will have some play here in this tournament. Not full 6 Hunters, but 3 Hunters with little Aegrisis and Warlock thrown in. I think we'll see quite a bit of. Also, Monty does like to play this quite a bit, so it is a common build that he's comfortable with. And of course, going to the first game, trying to get those nerves shaken out a bit, going with something that you're extremely comfortable with is actually not a bad decision. And it looks like all the players are still actually staying at level 4, which is also kind of interesting to see, because you would expect some people to go up, but everybody's sticking at 4.
Yeah, is that just because they're trying to get those rolls on their level 1s and level 2s before they get the lower percentages on those, higher percentages on the higher tier units?
I think it's just to try to get an extra interest early on, but it looks like we do see Monty and Disown going up to 5, and then DK and Hosanna, which Hosanna being down there at 94%, not really streaking with a win streak yet, going up to level 5, even with DK, I think it could come back to bite them, because that 1 gold that they could have gotten does exponentially give you an advantage later on in the game.
Yeah, in fact, only one player right now actually is not spending all their money, actually has a sort of interest form, and that's going to be Curie, who, as we established, is one of the favorites to win this whole thing, but is now in last place in terms of health, but 90 HP, tied with Shake. It's nothing to really be worried about just yet. I'm watching, though, to see if we find anyone who's going to be open forting.
Does have some really, really good items there. 2 Magica Crystals already. Also just 1 ring away from a Refresher Orb, which could be amazing if he gets it on a Siren or something like that early on, because it looks like he is going Hunters as well, or at least thinking about it.
Hunter right now, still not the full commitment just yet. Throwing some items on the Sand King.
Yeah, Sand King, they're getting him some Beast bonus just to get that extra added damage onto the Hunters as well, but I think he's okay lose streaking here. He's okay. He's just trying to not lose too much HP to give him a little bit of a hole to come back from. Yeah,
so like with open forwarding, you're guaranteed the lose streak, but you can take a fair bit of health with that one. But if you're able to manage your board so that you know that's weaker than the majority, if not the entire of the rest of the lobby, you can still, if you can take out 1 or 2 units, that little bit of health that you save every single round could, end up winning you the game because you have just that much more of a buffer to utilize. But of course, the risk is you might accidentally be stronger than you think you are. You may break your lose streak, and you may break your gold income from that.
Also in a lobby with players of this caliber, coming back from a lose streak is extremely hard because the players that are win streaking, like Monty here in this situation, going 100% still and being super strong, are only going to know how to punish you even more and not let you come back into it. And they're going to possibly roll down with you or level up with you at the same time, so that way you can't try to get back on a win streak after you are losing.
Damage from Monty, it does look like it's going to be enough to take out Azu at the very beginning. He's going to, I think, keep his streak alive. He is still at 100% HP, only player to be so.
Yeah, if Monty picks up a 2-star sniper here early on before, round 10, that would be absolutely insane for him.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's feeling pretty good right now about his team already. Has the pretty decent front line with Skybreaker as well as a Red Axe. And we actually saw him go with a Red Axe and Swordman frontline on the qualifiers to get here. And it's not something that we see too often with Red Axe and Swordman being paired together with a Hunter build, but it is a good way to start. Sure.
What's really good about Hunter, and that's why a lot of especially new players experience it more than I think any other synergy, is that it is very flexible from the very beginning. You just need a couple of big meaty bodies in the front line, and right now it is going to be Red X Chief as well as Skybreaker, but we have a couple of warriors on the sideboard ready to throw in once they're brought up to 2-star.
Yeah, Monty definitely sacrificing a little bit of economy right now in order to try to keep that win streak. And I mean, at this point, if you're 100% win streaking, everything you do to continue win streaking is right. So it doesn't matter if you're rolling, if you're leveling, as long as you keep that win streak, you're doing right.
On one hand, though, there's always the question of, am I spending too much money? Am I committing to the win streak too much? Because like, if you're already winning, you could start saving up your money. If you keep leveling up, if you keep rolling down just to keep that win streak, sure, you're going to be having a more likely chance of...
Okay, with an early Dragon synergy there with no Dragon Knight, though, which is a little interesting. And
strange.
We talked about seeing some different strategies through these other players that we haven't seen a lot of. And I think this is something that is one of those interesting things.
We'll say I'm not surprised. Oh, wait, is he actually coming out on top? No. It was a little close there at the end. The bounces from Late Night almost took out more units at the end there, but no, that Dragon synergy without the Dragon Knight just isn't enough in my opinion, especially because like one of them is Winter Chirofran, who is very good as like a support, especially when you're going up against assassins, as sort of like a backline defense against your carries, for your carries. But with no real carry in that lineup, there's not a big major source of damage.
Yeah, we see Hosanna here with a early Tortola Elder, which is the key to mages. He also has a 2-star source as well as a pair of Flaming Wizards. So him set up right now is an extremely, extremely good position. He doesn't actually have any mana items though, which is something that we've talked about in the past. Mages are very item dependent, but early game with that 2-star source, it is going to help his Tortola Elder get off his skill at least in a reasonable amount of time, but he is going to want to look for some of those mana crystals extremely quickly.
The damage for the Tutorial Ella came out a little late just because of the lack of mana items that you usually expect from that character, but did do a lot of damage and is able to clutch it in the end. That got a little close. But nonetheless, yeah, but this Hosanna's board to me looks like someone who wasn't necessarily planning on going mages, but when you roll in your pack the early Tortola Elder, that's one of those opportunities that you say, you know, like, let me just take on this, let me lean into this, and let me turn this into something else, because going for Goblin Mech right now, I mean, people call it a Goblin gamble for a reason.
Right, and we do see Shredded actually doing kind of a gamble of his own. He's on a 6-win streak right now, but his economy is still at only 7 by round 13. He did say in his interview that he likes to play aggressive early on, and he's definitely spending his gold and being aggressive. He does sell the Skybreaker there to get that extra economy here to go up to 10, but again, as long as he's winning, he's doing what he needs to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's level 7 right now. He does have the one of the larger board sizes in terms of army strength, but it's getting a little tight here.
Yeah.
The Dragon Knight's doing a fair bit of damage, but he is going to continue his win streak now, take yet another win, and hopefully this is the moment that he'll be able to really turn that into an economy advantage rather than strictly just a board advantage, because it's getting quite, not late into the game, but we're hitting the mid game, and having that low of money in the mid game is not something that you usually expect to see.
No, it's just scary because even though you have that that advantage, it looks like he even rolled down even farther now too, but just because you have that advantage, you want to keep it so badly, and if you don't get those rolls and you happen to maybe get put up against Monty, who's going 100%, and you're stuck in a situation where you have no economy, and you also now have no win streak, it's going to take you several rounds to get that economy back, where, I mean, we have guys like Shake and Curie down at the bottom there that are already fully max economized and still extremely healthy for this part of the game as well.
Yeah, I mean, they are missing like the 40% or so of their health, and that is a resource. Health is a resource. It doesn't matter how much health you end the game with. If you get first with 100 versus first place with 10 HP, you get the same number of points. And so it's the top players do view their health as a resource to utilize, and even though, as you mentioned, Disowned, Shake, they have 50 gold, they are missing out on other resources to utilize later in the game.
And here taking a look at Shake also going Hunters, and he's actually got a Feathered Hunter build going on right now, which we've kind of deemed as one of the weaker strategies right now, and with so many other players in the lobby going Hunters already and trying to lose streak into it, he's maybe trying to use his economy advantage over the other players that are already going Hunters. But we see Monty, who's high rolling 100%, 41 gold, not too far behind Shake, just has so much more to work with right now, and those pieces are so contested where he might not be able to find them in time.
Yeah, I'm shocked that we're only seeing one player go Knights right now. Like, I expected to see at least 2, and it's not even a full 4 Knights just yet. It's still, you know, still leaning onto the Goblin mechs right now is Azu.
I'll tell you what though, if I'm Azu, and I know that I'm the only one going Knights right now. I have a couple 2-stars. I also have my Soul Reaper already, and I have 94% HP. I would be feeling pretty good about possibly winning this entire round or this entire game.
It's possible. It's not too late for a couple other players, especially the lose streaking ones, to transition into Knights. But still, I think, I don't know, the fact that we're seeing 3 Hunters is more than I expected. My guess is that these players tried to kind of outthink each other and say, oh, well, everyone else is going to go Knights, everyone else is going to go Mages, let me be the one guy who goes Hunter, which means that these pieces are free and available. But now, when everyone is doing that, it kind of just backfires. Monty's still in the lead. He's still in the lead, so...
Yeah, Monty's in the lead. He's still looking strong, though. Hunters do have a decent playability against fully stacked Knights as well, because they have that built-in egg assist and the sustain from Warlock as well, if he does utilize it, which I'm sure he's going to. But it's still beatable with Knights. Knights can almost beat everything in this lobby, especially since they're the only one going Knights. Monty's
actually going to come out on top against Azu. He's going to break the streak that he was attempting to build there. Monty in the lead, 50 gold right now, 100 HP. He is looking in a really good spot. And actually, the full total gold value, he's going to still be in the lead. Even the lose streaking players of Shake and Disowned they're getting close, but they're not overtaking him. So he's got to be feeling comfortable is like, I guess, the big takeaway from that.
Yeah, and Azu actually deciding to get rid of his goblins now, which I think is a good decision, going 4 Knights, 4 Glacier. He does have Berserker right now, which we would probably see... it can go either way. He doesn't have a Priest just yet, so he's going to use the Berserker for now to kind of keep his HP healthy as much as he can. But once he starts getting those 2 stars and Hell Knight to 3-star and Lightblade, he's going to become pretty much unstoppable.
Yeah, so he's transitioning out of the Goblins, as you mentioned, getting the gold back from that. Bringing in the Warlock bonus, which is, when you talk about a lot of different comps, you usually talk about the main synergies. In this case, it was, Knights, Glaciers. But the Warlock is included in there as well to also tap onto the Agursis bonus.
Right.
Those are all just small things thrown in that are going to give you every single advantage that you need.
Yeah, and DAZN actually dropping down to 29% HP here with a pair of Dragon Knights on the bench. If he picks up that 2-star Dragon Knight, he should be able to kind of stabilize himself a little bit. But at 30 gold, he's got to be careful. He's losing his economy now. He's also still potentially losing his HP, and it's a little scary in the situation for him.
He's already rolled down to 30. He doesn't want to roll any further than that, but you can just tell that he's been trying to set himself up to find the Dragon Mages at some point, but it's going to be difficult for him. We were talking about how no one's going Knights. We did see a number of people go Mages, and so that's going to be a heavy contest on those pieces. He loses even more HP, going down to 21, and it's getting very, very tight for this player.
And that's not even up against the top comps in the lobby right now. So it's against DK, who's kind of in the middle of the pack right now. But it's definitely a nervous situation for DAZN. Again, he does want to come out of this with at least not a last place position. Yeah. It's not, of course, just counting him out just yet, but he does have a lot of potential to power spike here very quickly.
Back up to 50 right now. Does he wait one more round before he does the full roll down? Gets rid of the Taboo Witcher, gets rid of those 2 Goblins, and really try and get that full Dragon Mage comp.
It is round 19, so one more round before the creep round. But I would say with 21% HP, it's just risky.
It's tight margin. It's a tight margin nonetheless.
And up against Shredded, though, Shredded actually switching out of Hunters and going into Mages with the Tortola Elder of his own, and does actually...
Ooh, okay.
DAZN actually wins.
Yeah, so he came out on top. It looked a little weak at first, but the Tortola Elder from Shredded wasn't able to do enough damage. Still only a 1-star at this point.
Again, so, that's one of those calculator risks from DAZN, deciding to play a little bit more aggressively because he doesn't want to go under that 50 interest just yet. So he takes the gamble, comes out on top, able to keep his HP at 21%, but still has a lot of work to do.
The thing is, though, he has 50 gold right now, and we're about to go through a creep round, which means there's no reason to go below 50 at this point. You should still be strong enough to get the items from those 2 monsters. However, he's only level 7 right now. Level 8 on 21 is kind of like the median, the baseline of when like the end game starts, but DAZN has to make the decision between either unlocking that 8th unit slot or rolling down and finding more units to actually make this comp stronger. So it's going to be... I don't know what decision he's going to make on that end. I think he has to roll down. There's no strong unit that would be worthwhile to put in as an 8th unit at this point.
I almost would rather see him roll down to get his units. He is a couple clicks away, like 20 gold.
There we go.
Yeah, okay, so he gets a 2-star Thunder Spirit, levels up, gonna keep rolling down here. I would almost assume that he's gonna go all the way until he gets his 2-star Dragonite, if he can find one. Still going down 21 gold, picks up a 2-star Cairo Terran as well. Also grabs a Rogue Guard, but still unable to find that 2-star Dragonite, unfortunately. Going 7 out of 8 units right now, throws in the... Okay, throws in the source right at the end there to get 6 mages, or actually he's only have 5 mages still. Doesn't have a Tortola Elder or a God of Thunder yet, so that's also something that's really scary for him as well up against Q.
There's a lot of AoE damage coming out. It looks like he's still in the lead. The protected Dragon Knight in the backline is doing a lot of splash damage, so he's able to take this victory nonetheless. But still, where is that final Dragon Knight?
Yeah, he's actually able to sell everything, so even though he rolled down to 0 gold there, he was able to sell pretty much everything to get up to 20 gold again, and looks like Q actually picked up a refresher orb for that Siren, as we kind of saw that coming though from the beginning, already having 3 of the 4 pieces, and he's got a very scary Hunter team right now. Just needs to find that sniper that's kind of the whole key to the entire thing.
Yeah, I mean, because we've seen other people play Hunter, of course, right now. That's going to make that sniper really contested, but at the same time, this comp still looks really strong. It may not be a game-winning comp at this point, but once more and more players go out, especially once more and more of those Hunter players come out, that level 3, the other snipers should be able to be slotted in easily enough.
Yeah, and Q here up against Shredded with still a lot of people going mages, though. Tortola Elder kind of missing his ult there, which is good for Q, so he's going to take this win and keep his HP a little bit higher, still at 28%. Disowned also winning his battle, and looks like Monty's still keeping that 100% win streak, so he is just absolutely feeling really good right now.
Here's a little bit of a hot tip. Monty, from the very beginning, actually early on, threw Frantic Masks on the sniper, which a lot of early players are I'm assuming, are going to be confused about because it's going to silence him. And a lot of people would think, well, that's a big damage snipe, right? Why would you want to silence that?
I would say the main thing with sniper, as long as you get him to 2-star, then it's worth it. But as long as you have 2-star and also another item on top of it. So you can see here he has double Frantic Mask.
Yeah.
So since he does have the 2 of them, putting that both on him does make it a smarter play, and it's higher damage output at that point.
It's higher DPS, plus also just the lifesteal. That even if you have to go down a little bit in DPS, the lifesteal could easily make it worth it. When you tap onto the Warlock bonus, which I don't think that he has right now. I think it's Jesse Gersis coming out from the Soul Reaper, but nonetheless, if he's able to bring in the Warlock bonus later on, that's going to be some good survivability on that carry of the sniper.
Absolutely, just shredded through Shredded Puzzle there. And, but yeah, I would say, that, again, that is one thing to keep in mind, though. Frantic Mask on Sniper is extremely good, but don't do it before he's 2-star, because that early game is just so important to have that extra damage. But it looks like, Disowned getting his 6 mages now, getting that 2-star Dragon Knight and the God of Thunder, so his team is kind of coming together. He did actually lose last round, though, to DK, who's actually dropping down to 24% now as well.
He didn't lose too much health, though. He's still at 18. Honestly, I think we should just stop watching Disowned, because he rolled a lot better once we pulled our camera off of him. But here's DK, who's also trying to go Dragon Mages, but he's just getting torn apart by Shredded, who is also going Dragon Mages.
Yeah, we knew that Dragon Mages were going to be a highly contested build here, and we weren't actually seeing it too much. We saw a lot of players actually transition into it probably between round 20.
As Monty hasn't lost a single round yet. 17 rounds, 18 rounds straight right now.
Imagine being in a $1 million tournament and going 100% game 1. It just gives you that confidence boost that you need there.
So definitely rolling well for him. Looking at Shredder right now, though, I mean, a lot of these comps are going to start to look the same just because the meta right now in Auto Chess, there are certain comps, there are certain collections of 9 units that are just, you have to almost say objectively stronger than everyone else. And throughout the early game and the mid game, there's flexibility on what you can do, rolling with what you're given. But in the late game, though, if you don't have this particular curation of units, you're going to be at a disadvantage. So we're going to start to see more and more of these players have a more homogenous build.
Yeah, they're definitely going to start falling off a little bit. And another thing to keep in mind, though, is the economy as it stands right now. Hosanna, with a ice armor, which is extremely good, mainly against knights, though. Which we only have 1 player. So Ice Armor not really too important against all these mage players, to be completely honest. But just to keep in mind, I did want to make one quick note about Monty. He was at 50 gold, and him now deciding to roll down and actually spend that gold along with all these other players that are kind of now struggling and trying to stay in the game, and just forcing them out and not allowing them to really have a chance and matching that gold spend.
I mean, yeah, he wants to make a statement by winning this game at 100 HP. He's not even going to give anyone else a chance to wound him, much less take him out of this first place spot.
And DK with his DK frontline, the Hell Knight does go ahead and just kind of shred through that as well. And that's one of the main counters to mages is a 3-star Hell Knight. There's not much you can do, especially with the anti-Maga Cloak there. It just makes you rely on mages' attack skills, which is pretty much
they're mages. Yeah,
it's irrelevant.
The reason that they're mages is because they don't have attack skills. That's like going to the what is it, engineering club and hoping that they can play a round of football for you. That's just not going to happen. That's not how it works. That's not written in the laws of physics.
Yeah, Shake actually has quite a heavy dwarf sniper as well, with close to a Mjolnir for him. Just needs to pick up a shard there as well, Wraith Shard, and he is also just one dwarf sniper away from a 3-star. So that would be a huge pickup for him as well, and still pretty healthy that he has a chance to get it 30% HP, and yeah, Monty's level 9 as well as Disown. So the first and last players in the lobby going up to level 9.
Okay, so the DK actually on the side of Hosanna is not attacking the main army, and that splash damage is obviously not going to work out, but nonetheless he is going to have that, just the damage coming out from the Dragon Mage is going to be enough nonetheless. I was wondering if that assassin in the bottom corner was, I guess, enough of a diversion to give Shake the upper hand, but it's not going to be the case. And
keeping an eye on Disowned health.
Disowned 1 HP.
1% does lose to Shake by 2, so again he's just trying to hang on as much as he possibly can, and it would possibly make it a better positioning to move to the right side. Right now he's getting kind of just AoE damage and just getting cleared out by all these mages, so maybe splitting up his units or trying something else, because right now it's just he's just grasping at straws.
So you may wonder why Disowned is struggling so much, even though he is also going Dragon Mage, but a big part is because he does not have the Tortola Elder. He doesn't even have a 1-star of that unit, and that's a huge disadvantage. The strength of Dragon Mage, or just mages in general, comes from that single unit, and unfortunately Disowned is going to lose once again. He's going to go out in 8th place. Hosanna, though, also taking a little bit of damage, and he is getting right on the line. But no, it's going to be Q who goes out in 7th, right after, only moments after Disown gets eliminated.
Two favored players actually go out 8 and 7 here, so they're going to be trying to figure out what happened there and watch the rest of this match to see if there's anything that they can fix going into game 2. But Hosanna now on the chopping block, DK as well. A lot of players under 20% HP, Shredded also at 26, and Monty is really the only one that's in a good position here. Also, I think Azu is in a good position as well up against these mage players left over.
Yeah, you actually see Azu, he's going Glacial Knights, and he's going to be splitting up his units just because, as you mentioned, with the AoE coming up from mages, even though they do group up on the corner positioning of DK's mages, that's still at least a little bit of an opportunity to spread out that damage as much as possible, try and avoid the Tortola ultimate on at least half of your army.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we saw there. Tortola Elder actually shot off to the left side, only hit a couple of them, hit that tanky DK, but the Hell Knight, I apologize, but it missed the entire right corner of his knights.
So what do you think about this whole late game corner pocket positioning strategy, though? Is it really the only way to position your units in the late game? Because that's really what we're seeing. Monty right now, he's not even going mages, and he's still putting all of his units in the corner just to protect the carry of the sniper.
I think at this point, with Monty going up against so many mage players, it would be nice to see him split up and put one dwarf sniper to the right side and kind of just split his carries so that way he has damage coming from both angles. But in this situation, he could be looking at just trying to focus one target down with both of his snipers at the same time to possibly kill the Tortola Elder before he even gets a single ult off.
Or even any other unit very quickly before they can get their ult off, because sure, Tortola Elder may do the majority of the damage, but it's not the only piece of damage. Azu, though, as Reem pointed out, good items, Killer Bot 300.
Yeah, you don't see the Killer Bot too often here, and he actually gets it onto a Light Blade Knight, which is about the best unit that you can have it on.
Because of the bounces.
Yeah, absolutely. He just needs to get one more Light Blade Knight, egg it, or maybe... Oh, he gets it without the egg.
Without the egg, too, so it's just a full, natural, holistic Light Blade Knight. Level 3 Night Blade, level 3 Hell Knight. This is basically the Knight comp that you want, and he's in line to get a number of other level 3s as well if you're looking at the sideboard.
Yeah, looking at that 3-star Desperate Doctor potentially, and the 3-star Frost Knight, and once he gets those, he's pretty much maxed out on his potential, unless he goes up to, you know, maybe level 9 and throws in something else, like maybe a Storm Shaman or something like that.
Took a lot of damage, though. Monty is going to come out on top, and that's going to be some big damage. 10 to be exact, onto Azu. He's still going to maintain second place, 20 HP. Everyone else has even less. It's going to be tight margins on who comes out basically third, or even arguably second through 6.
Yeah, Hosanna's still at level 8, as well as Shake and Azu both being level 8. So he actually goes up to 9, throws in that Storm Shaman. Only 1 star right now, so it might not be too drastic of an upgrade, but the Dragon Knight actually has some decent items for a Dragon Knight. All that attack speed bonus is going to help him splash damage more, but up against Azu, this is not looking good. This is the one matchup that he doesn't want right now, especially with 3% HP, but a lot of AoE damage coming down, but that Hell Knight is almost unkillable.
Oh, get him! Got him in the end. Now it's just a Light Blade, but the bounces and all the items. Solo carry Light Blade Knight on Hosanna, and he's gonna go out, and I believe that is 5th place for him. DK went out just moments previously. Shredder takes some damages, just barely
1%.
stays alive himself for 1%. This does give him an opportunity to hopefully climb higher above Shake and maybe above Azu. And Monty, he bled.
Yeah, he actually lost to Hosanna, which is now out, so still not a horrible position for Monty to be in. And the Orb of Refresh now on the Desperate Doctor, getting the 3-star Frost Knight as well. But yeah, Shredded there, hanging on, getting 2 places higher on 1 round. So
yeah.
he's looking, he's got to be feeling a little bit of a breath of fresh air there.
Yeah.
Because it could have been, as long as you're over that fold,
yeah,
you're gaining extra points that are extremely crucial.
He's getting minimum 5 points at this point in the game.
Which is great.
That's a good start to this. That doesn't put him necessarily in a position to try and have to go super aggressive, but looks like he's going to lose this round. He is going to go out in 5th place, losing to Monty. Unfortunate roll for him to go up against the top rolling player.
Shake also going out on the same round here, up against Azu. Damage is yet to animate, but there it goes now. So Shake, as we kind of suspected from the beginning of the game though here, Monty still extremely good. Azu the only one playing Knights, which is one of those crazy, crazy strong comps. 1-2. No surprises here, in my opinion.
So, but looking at Knights compared to not Mage, which we expected to be in the late game, but rather Hunter, how do those 2 comps fare up against each other? We know Knights beats Mages, but is Hunter's kind of like the scissors to this rock, paper, scissors?
I think Monty being so economized and have so much HP that he can... It's going to be very hard for him to lose this because Hunters are actually quite good against Knights. As long as he can position his tanky units in front of the Hell Knight and not let it get back to the backline that easily. He did have the Red Axe Chief over to the left side, which is not the greatest positioning, but he can make that adjustment. He should be okay. Able to get the... If he's able to get the 3-star Dwarf Sniper as well, that's going to be massive.
That's true. He is still sitting on the 2-star. He needs 2 more Dwarf Snipers, and they're in the pool. We know that, and he has the money to roll down. He's just not using it just yet because he still has 75 HP. He still has that resource to wait to see if it can come naturally, but the strength of Azu's army on both boards from the last round looked very scary, and he's still sticking in that corner pocket, has the Red X Chief on the front line trying to defend it, but just the damage coming out from the 3-star Hell Knight, 3-star Light Blade Knight. There's a little bit of room for Monty to work with, and in some ways, the late game is kind of half the game itself because you know who you're going up against. There's only one option. And then with the item, the way that the item works, once a player is eliminated, all their items get thrown out to everyone else. And so you can suddenly make a bunch of big late game items that you weren't able to earlier on. And that may give you another possibility, another option on how you face off against your opponent.
We do actually see both players getting some really, really nice items. Again, Lightblade Knight picking up another attack speed item as well, and Eggers' Ranger with the Frantic Mouse, half of another one as well. But let's take a look at the carry, the Dwarf Sniper, to see what he's got on that guy.
Oh, we gotta load.
There we go. So actually, kind of, I mean, I would say item advantage definitely goes to Azu right now.
Not a lot of items on that Dwarf Sniper right now, and that may be one of the big reasons why he's getting torn apart. The Knight Shield is just doing a lot of work to keep Azu's army protected. They both have Egursis, and actually double Egursis onto Monty as it's being pointed out right now, but still, with the, I guess the shield proc from the Knight synergy, it's a lot to break through in the late game.
Yeah, and Monty did actually level up to get that 4 Agresys bonus in there.
Yeah.
He's now actually looking for possibly a 3-star Doom, which is extremely tanky and could actually match up against
One
that
more,
3-star
he needs
Hell
one
Knight.
more,
He got
and
the
the
egg,
egg.
and we definitely like to see that. A Doom Arbiter 3-star game 1. That's insane.
That's really big. It's rare enough to see a 3-star of a tier 4 unit, but having such a huge tanky front line that deals the damage that he does, but oh,
turns
he's
into a penguin.
That may be big.
But it is enough for Monty to kind of contest with that 3-star Hell Knight to give his backline the opportunity to come back and kill the Light Blade Knight in the backline for Azu. So as we can see here, both players actually winning on their boards.
Yeah, so they're going to trade. No one's going to lose any HP, but already the 3-star Doom Arbiter, you can see, is bringing such an advantage. Even if it does get turned into a penguin, it's still tanky enough to not get eliminated early on and be a big wall that the Knights need to break through before they can get into the backline. But we're still just waiting on the 3-star sniper.
Yeah, and Red actually has the Heart of Tarask item. Imagine if he had the Heart of Tarask on his 3-star Doom, but it's a little bit hard to say that he can actually make those changes right now, because I think selling a 3-star Red Axe Chief would be
I don't think it's worth it.
Bit of
I don't think it's
a
worth
stretch.
it. Yeah, that would be, I don't know if that would be full on throw, but it would be a weird choice nonetheless. But oh, he won last round, but this time around, again, the Knight bonus and the Storm Shaman tearing through his army, and he's going to be losing even more health this time around.
Also, that Desperate Doctor did a lot of CC on his hunters, all grouped up in that corner. It might be time for Monty to switch things up just a little bit. Again, just switching those or splitting those 2 Dwarf Snipers into each corner could be all he needs.
Ghost Prophet 2-star. This could be big. Could be another advantage. You don't see a lot of Ghost Prophet. The way that she just works in comps isn't as sort of easily slot into anything. But level 10, it's very common to see it as like the final, what is it, like luxury unit?
Yeah, definitely a luxury unit, and it does apply that 4 Agresys bonus as well. But with no mana items, let's see how long it gets turned into a penguin. Every unit we talk about is going to get turned into a penguin, apparently. But it's going to take forever for her to get her mana up. By the time she does, it looks like, I mean, it's kind of not really doing a whole lot for them. Only about 2,000 damage from the Soul Reaper so far. Or no, it actually gets up to 3,600 damage from the Ghost Prophet. I said Soul Reaper earlier, but I meant Ghost Prophet there, so it does actually make quite a bit of difference. And Azu now dropping down to 13% HP.
Okay, so the metrics are going slightly more into Monty's favor right now, but still, with the amount of times that these 2 boards have gone up against each other, it's still sort of Azu staring down, like Monty's staring down the barrel of the gun right now. Needs to find something, needs to find that level 3 sniper. I don't know if it's found just yet. The gold though, Monty is still heavily in favor in total cost of the army, but that just goes to show the strength of Knights, the fact that you can be close to 70 gold behind your opponent and still trade or even have the advantage.
Yeah, and Monty's really got to hope that he can kill Azu very quickly, because if Azu does get that Dark Spirit in there, gets up to level 10 to match him, it's gonna make a huge difference. Especially if he keeps his units clumped up like that with the Dark Spirit added in there, they're just gonna melt.
So it's rare to see more items given after it's down to just a 1v1, but we do go through another neutral round, and I don't know if we are gonna see any extra items created because of that though, or at least really big impactful ones.
Looks like no huge upgrades. A 2-star Evil Knight, again, a minimal upgrade, but an upgrade at that. And Monty actually finding a Dark Spirit, which I don't think he's had previously, so now he does actually get a Dark Spirit against those Knights is going to be extremely good. Yeah,
I mean, it's a Dark Spirit. A lot of people will say that Dark Spirit is like the biggest counter to Knights, which makes that pickup for Monty really good. However, is it worth a 1-star Dark Spirit worth taking out one of your 2-star snipers?
I would say yes. Yes, the damage that the 1-star Dark Spirit is going to make against Knights, it's going to be, yeah, 100% worth it, for sure.
Did it even go off, though? I'm not seeing the Dark Spirit pool on Azu's screen, and so the 1-star might have got eliminated early, and
did go off on Monty's screen, though.
Okay, that's good, and that's why it's getting this much closer. Can the last auto attack from the Glacial Knight is going to be enough. It's only 2 damage. It's still minimal, but this just goes to show that the metrics are still this close, and we're on round. It's been how many rounds of these two just back and forth?
It's been about 7 rounds or more.
This is a scrappy late game.
Okay, so he does position the Doom in front of the Dark Spirit, which I think is a great idea because the Dark Spirit's going to start getting mana based on the Lightblade Knight attacking and kind of having that bounce damage, so he should be fine. As long as he gets the Dark Spirit off and protects it at the same time, that's all he needs. Now, he is going to be splitting things up a little bit, which is what we've been wanting to see for so long, but at this point, it might, I guess, just to counter the Lightblade Knight from hitting all of the units.
But immediately, Azu actually able to spot that out, it seems, and split up his own units in order to basically take down as many people as he can. And he is still continuing to get the better of Monty's board, just the 3 stars of these units. The Doom Arbiter lasting really, really long, making it closer than it may have looked just moments prior. But nonetheless, Azu winning on both boards once again.
And Azu actually now gaining some economy because, again, he's looking to go up to level 10 as quick as he possibly can, and only 1 Dark Spirit away from a 2-star. So Azu's looking to be in favor with that kind of play to save his economy and not really try to roll down for anything because there's not really anything that he can get other than going up to level 10.
He's leaving his Dark Spirit in the front, though. Is that a little bit risky? Dark Spirit not exactly known as one of the best tanks in the game.
Not one of the best tanks. And we saw that Monty keeping his in the front didn't really work out too well for him either. But we'll see how it works out for Azu.
A very last-minute unit swap to try and counter anything that Monty may have pulled out.
That is actually going to be just fine. Gets taunted by the Red Axe Chief. Does not get the ultimate off.
Could be big. In fact, you can see the Dark Spirit puddle on from Monty on Azu's screen, but still, with the split that Azu also employed, that means that the Dark Spirit AoE doesn't hit a lot of units. They trade, both boards win for their respective sides. We're still just waiting for the advantage. I mean, Destructor, is that? I mean, the Goblin.
Yeah,
Devastator,
it's not something that I think he's going to play, but having Devastator on his board does give him a higher chance of getting another Dark Spirit.
That's true. Yeah, any of those sort of, you got to work with the numbers. This is kind of a mathematician's game in certain aspects. But then again, that also could just give Azu the 3rd Dark Spirit that he wants. So
True.
It's a little bit of a toss-up.
Because it does. It takes it out of the pool for everybody, not just you. Exactly. But Azu does protect the Dark Spirit a little bit more here. And it's not gaining its mana up too quickly.
Oh, just look at that. Just slow bleed of damage onto all of Monty's units. And then the 3 stars. The Lightblade Knights still have HP. That's going to be a fair bit of damage onto Monty right now.
Yeah, 28% to 13%. We're just seeing the domination of Knights.
Just remember, though, only like 10 rounds ago, when it was these 2 players, Monty was at 90, Azu is at 20. And we're now going down to 28 and 13.
Yeah, going into Nyan Beast round, too, which is round 45. You don't actually see that very often. In tournament play, I think we see it a lot more. But Azu kind of hanging in there, knowing that he has a team that can potentially beat Monty in the end.
You say potentially. He's beating Monty right now. He is beating Monty right now. He has had the advantage this entire time. Still waiting on the 3-star sniper. Monty's got to be tearing his head out at this point, I think. He's been through so many different pack rolls. Not able to find even one more than we looked at from when we last saw it.
Still 2 off, which is quite a ways, especially with only having 5 gold.
He doesn't have the economy to roll down for it either. Are these item pickups going to be anything major for both of these sides, or we're still just going to be seeing more of the same?
I believe it's another Killer Bot 3000, potentially. I could be wrong there.
Would you stack that on the Lightblade Knight again, or do you want to maybe diversify and put on another unit?
I think he's going to stack it. It actually gets a 2-star Dark Spirit, which is, I think that's game. Azu,
that might be game.
I think that might be game.
That might be it. Monty not able to find the rolls that he needs.
But Monty with the 2-star Dark Spirit of his own against Knights, I would say I'd rather take the 2-star Dark Spirit against Knights than the 2-star Dark Spirit against Hunters.
Yes. But Azu's been in the lead this entire time, and that split from both sides, the Dark Spirit AoE, will it be able to reach enough units to do a lot of damage? It's not even off yet from Monty's side. At least I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it went off, but Monty did give up on the 3-star Dwarf Sniper as well, by the way. As you can see, his bench, he only has that single 1-star. So kind of going in there to get that 2-star Dark Spirit.
Yeah, he wasn't finding it. He had to sell it for, or at least he didn't have to, but he made the decision to sell it to try and get a couple more rolls to find that level 2 Dark Spirit. But I mean, if
he
you're
also had an item sitting on that that second Dwarf Sniper that he obviously wanted, of course.
Yeah, try and take off. Because like once you're at this point, like Sniper is not my carry anymore. He is unreliable. He's late to work. It's just not working out. We got to cut him and find someone else to cover his shift. And it's going to be thrown onto the Doom Arbiter, which is again one of those units that you don't necessarily expect to see the silence being thrown on, but just the strength of those auto attacks with his health pool, with the just look at those punches. Those are massive punches from the Doom Arbiter.
And the Doom going one-on-one against the 3-star Hell Knight, just no competition.
Look at those. Look on the left side. I don't even care about the right side.
He's one-shotting the Desperate Doctor.
He's slapping these individuals. This is huge.
And Azu's going to take some damage here. 8. It's not enough with that priest bonus. He does keep 5% HP, but it is getting extremely close. That Doom Arbiter with those items, I think, was a great play by Monty.
Yeah, it was a little questionable, I think, getting rid of those on the Sniper, but Sniper just was not doing enough. And at this point, anyone who was a little worried, I mean, let's stay on this screen. I want to see those punches happen again because that was huge, and it's rare to see damage like that from an auto attack in Auto Chess.
Yeah, and I also think it's smart too because
get the nice angle.
With Doom Arbiter's ultimate, it's silencing a unit, and with Knights, there's not really anything to silence other than possibly the Dark Spirit, which isn't really going to be that important.
Just the slaps coming in.
He's all over the place, and this is going to be it. Azu going down to Monty finally after how many rounds?
It took almost 80 HP. But Monty was finally able to do it, and it was only because he pulled off of the Sniper, committed onto the Doom, the level 3, and he's going to take the very first game going to US of A.